different collections. So last year we had Game of the Month, and it was the build up for Indie Heroes 2. And I believe what Rob is sort of looking to discuss here is whether or not it would be worth having a different game from the various collections that are going to be coming out over the year as Game of the Month. So not necessarily just the Indie Heroes ones. So I don't know how people feel about that. So let's go in the reverse order to what we had before to throw everyone off their game. So Derek, how do you feel about that? What do you think about this as an idea?
I can certainly see where he's coming from with this idea. It might change things up a little bit. I think there's only so much time in a month, and at the moment, something like the indie games are very easy to license for that and for the collection. I think if you were to go to somebody like Toplan and suggest that, how much more you'd have to pay, I wouldn't like to suggest, but that would obviously eat into Blaze's budget. Ultimately, I think at the moment, just let them get this indie thing off the ground. I agree. I used to enjoy demos on cover tapes and discs years ago. A taste of some of the ones that are coming would be nice. And who knows what Blaze can do in the future, especially if they're licensing at the time and they can get them to agree a couple of games. I think that would be excellent. Especially even if it was just the Capcom games and you were going to license a couple of those to the Versus throughout the year. I think that would be excellent for things like Street Fighter 2 and Final Fights. You could get some of those multiplayers going. Yeah, that would be excellent.
That is a really good point, actually. Possibly licensing a couple of the Capcom ones every now and then as a little Game of the Month. I like that a lot. That's a really good idea. Yeah, fantastic stuff.
See, that's why Sir Topenhat goes first, because he comes up with the good ideas, and then Blunners and I can just sit here and go, yeah, agree with exactly what he's just said.
But what it means is you've now got to follow that really good idea. So on that note,
I was thinking they could also do it the other way. So obviously they're not going to do it with like legacy carts, but to try and sell some of these other carts to people, they could also have games from carts that are already out. So like. You know what I mean? Then other people who don't have these carts, because obviously if I want to play a game, I'm just going to Ryan's house because he's got them all. But like, do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that like luxury, so it's a case of that might be a good way of being able to shift older carts by drip feeding some games out. Like you said, I know you'd have licensing issues and that, but there's nothing better than having a free demo for a bit and then just getting a good taste. And then if you do like that, then you're going to drop your money on it, aren't you? You're going to go and pay that money.
Yeah, that's a really good idea as well. Even just doing, and I'm just sort of looking at just Interplay one because it's next to me for instance, but even doing just like Junk City from Earthworm Jim and it being like that's the demo. You just, like you say, have a little demo of it, have one level. There we are. There's a little bit extra to see what. I like that. It's been a little while since we've had old school demos, isn't it? Like. That used to be a really big thing. I remember getting PlayStation Magazine specifically for the demos. Really big sort of. It was a big market. It might not be such a big market now. And I remember Xbox Live as well when they brought demos out and you could download the first bit of BioShock and it being like, oh my god, it really did help drum up that hype train. So, oh man, Capcom and demos. Ryan, you've got to pull it out the bag here. That's two excellent suggestions for.
Just on the subject of demos on PlayStation 1, does everyone remember the PlayStation 1 Demo 1 CD that came with it that had like Formula 1, Crash Bandicoot? Yeah. How amazing was that? I played the life out of that demo CD.
Yeah.
It was so good. So good. Anyway, moving on from that, I would like to see Game of the Month for the... So how many collections do we have out a year? Is there 12 on the roadmap?
14.
14. Okay, so you could have, in my mind, one game per month for the upcoming, out of the two collections that you've got. So you've got Toa Plan and what's the other one coming out of Toa Plan?
C64.
C64. So maybe have one or two of those games available in the build up to that as Game of the Month. And then that's going to get people's interest, isn't it, in those two collections? If they're on the fence whether to buy them or not, then when that comes out, those two games disappear. Then you get two games for the next collection, and so on. And you could do that for the rest of the year. So yeah, I don't think that would be a bad idea, just to mix up the game of the month. But also, I do understand why they do it for Indie Heroes. As Sir Top and Hat said, it's easier to license, I imagine, because otherwise, if you're getting Earthworm Jim, I guess you have to get a cartridge license and a download license as well. So that's going to cost money. So I can appreciate why they only do it for Indie Heroes. However, if they could do it for the upcoming collections in the form of a demo or a full game to play, then I think that would be a really nice touch, and it would definitely get people interested. So for example, I don't know, C64 isn't something that I had when I was younger. I'm not a massive fan of the Commodore 64. I've got Commodore 64 Collection 1, but I've only played it sort of a handful of times. However, if they had a game on the C64 2 collection as the game of the month, then that might build up my interest in it, and it might make me more, well, I'm going to buy it anyway, but it might make other people more likely to buy it.
Yeah.
But what about if they had like I know it is everywhere nowadays, but like a monthly subscription that was like, say, a couple of quid a month, that would help with these, that you're kind of like your online, like nowadays, like everything's monthly subscription. But if that was like, if they were saying to you, look, we're going to give you X amount of games a month that you can download, like 2 games a month, and it's going to cost you a $5, but they're yours to keep as long as you keep your subscription going, kind of like your PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because everything's online nowadays, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that would help. That would help pay with these licenses.
It would. I think there's definitely something in that as an idea as well, because there's a lot of people out there that do get. I mean, I certainly do. I certainly get my money's worth from my cartridges and my consoles, and you know, I guess it's no different to like Patreon, is it? Like somebody,
No.
you know, having good content that you enjoy watching, and they've got a Patreon, and you're able to support them that way, just as an additional, like, oh, you know, thank you for your content. So it's, yeah, I don't know. There's definitely something in that could be done if people were sort of had an appetite for it. That's for sure.
It's the way of the world now, isn't it? It's the way of the world. Yeah,
It is.
it's everywhere.
It is in a very digital world. I don't think I can really add much to any of that, if I'm totally honest. I think they're all really, really good suggestions, and all, you know, very plausible as well. I think all I can do is just echo that. I think every single one of those ideas is a good idea, and, you know, maybe switching it up each year so it doesn't become the same thing every year. So, you know, if they wanted to do demos one year, license the Capcom games another year, and then do, yeah, just back to Indie Heroes for like a new selection of games the following year. I don't know. They just need to employ us, don't they, as their sort of ideas people, the PR team. What can we come up with? Just, yeah, we're throwing ideas out.
The round table.
Exactly. Bring us to the table. But no, I think those are all excellent suggestions. Yeah, really good topic. Thanks very much for that, Rob. That's yeah, interesting discussions there. So